According to Kubo, Aizen didn't want to face off against Unohana, not because he wouldn't win, but because he would have exhausted himself to defeat her. What does this mean for Unohana and others whom we always compare her to, like Zaraki and Genryusai?
Bankai, 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 Bankai. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Even before factoring Kyoka Suigetsu, Aizen is considerably powerful. He's in fact one of the most exceptional captains in the history of the Gotei 13. Captain Aizen's spiritual pressure was a far cry above characters like Tokinara Tsunayashiro, whose Reiatsu was assessed by Shunsui to be of the same strength as the great nobles like Byakuya and Yoroichi. And considering that the great nobles already possess spiritual pressures which are exceptional among the Shinigami, it makes Aizen's power that much more apparent. Even without Kyoka Suigetsu, he was already leagues beyond the Espada and most captains. Kyoka Suigetsu being a Zanpakuto which can produce perfect hypnosis, controlling all 5 senses, as well as a sense of spiritual pressure. Aizen also proclaimed that the 2 people whom he considered to be the greatest threat to his plan were Genryusai Yamamoto and Kenpachi Zaraki, which makes sense in the grand scheme of things, given that both Zaraki and Genryusai are inherently stronger than Unohana, since Zaraki was simply holding himself back. And it's worth noting that Unohana was pretty much playing the role of the healer, and Sosuke kept adding to the list of casualties. It also makes sense that Zaraki was considered to be such a threat, as Aizen, who is very educated on Soul Society's history, was more than likely referring to Zaraki regaining the power he once had as a child. And although Zaraki was stronger, Unohana being able to rival that power, as it's been stated several times, makes her ability to push Aizen this far more consistent, given that she could somehow rival the power which Aizen did not want to face before gaining immortality. As it pertains to Genryusai, who is a stronger combatant than Unohana consistently, Sosuke Aizen pretty much conceded to his superior battle power, even thinking that he would be at a disadvantage. However, it should be considered that Genryusai thought Aizen was so powerful that to completely destroy him, he threatened to burn all the captains and himself to death to vanquish Aizen's evil. Now, as for Zaraki Kenpachi, Unohana claimed that if he had his true strength, Royd wouldn't have been a strong opponent from his perspective. In other words, the same opponent who could go blow for blow with Genryusai's Shikai would not be a problem for base Kenpachi without his eye patch, Zaraki Kenpachi who regained his past power. In other words, Kenpachi with his power restored would not even need a Shikai to defeat Royd. And note that Royd could clash with Genryusai's Shikai but not his Bankai. In conclusion, we have Unohana who could push Aizen to exhaustion, below Aizen who would still win after expending tons of spiritual power, with Aizen being below Genryusai who possessed higher battle power and with his Shikai thought of pulling off a sacrificial move to defeat Aizen. And above that, we have a restored base Zaraki, who was assessed as being capable of easily dispatching Royd, who could rival Genryusai in Shikai mode. Even Yuha Baha, who kept an eye on the Shinigami, thought Royd's only issue would be Genryusai's Bankai, and Retsu was clearly watching their battle through spiritual pressure. Overall, the first Kenpachi Yachida Unohana ranks among the most freakishly powerful Shinigami in Soul Society's history. Cheers.